Good morning, everyone. We'll give people just a few minutes to join. Feel free to say hello to me on the chat. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Susan. Hope everyone's well this morning. Just not have a chance here. It's hot out there. Oh my gosh. Not that that's anything new. It's been hot. All right, when it turns to the hour, I will pause and formally introduce the session as I'm supposed to do, so just so you guys know. Say hi to everyone. Carol, yay, Carol's online. Good morning. My sister said she enjoyed your class. Hi, Susan. Thank you so much for joining. Got another Susan. Yay. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sun and Moon's YouTube channel. I'm happy to have everyone here today. My name is Kristen Verderami, and I teach Wednesday nights a Vinyasa Flow class here at Sun and Moon. So I welcome all of you to join me for that. This summer, we have been focusing on moon salutations because it is so darn hot out there. Went for a run this morning, about died. It's so hot out there. So we've been focusing on cooling poses using the midsection, twists, back bends, those types of things. And we'll do a moon salutation this morning. I would like to have this morning dedicated to others, though, as a community coming together and using us as a heart opening session. So we'll do some poses where we raise our hands all the way up to the ceiling, all the way up to heaven, whatever you want to look at that as. Opening your palms to the ceiling, opening your gaze to the ceiling. And I'd invite you, when we do that, to think about someone, maybe someone you might have lost, maybe someone you know that going through the pandemic is having a difficult time. A good friend of mine just lost his dog last week, and I feel bad for him, so I'll be thinking of him this morning, as well as my mom and some other people. And then when we come back to Hands at Heart Center, I'd like you to think about yourself. Yeah, we take care of others all the time, and we're all pretty good at that. I know you take care of yourself because you're here doing yoga, which is awesome. But this morning, when we put our hands together, bring our hands to our heart, and feel that knuckle hitting your breastbone. I'll give you a cue for that. I want you to close your eyes and think about yourself and send yourself some compassion. And so we'll collectively together work as a community to send love out to so many people who might be needing it this morning. So as part of our heart opening and practice of love this morning, I thought I'd give you all a little introduction to something we call Bhakti Yoga. There are lots of different forms of yoga. I'm sure many of you have heard a lot of different ones. There are also a number of yoga texts that us yoga nerds look to learn about yoga philosophy. One of these is called the Bhagavad Gita. And I invite you all to look for this and read it if you haven't read it. It's not very long. It looks kind of long, but it's just kind of a story. It's like a poem, as you can see. It's one big long story. And it's about a prince named Arjuna, who's kind of on a journey. He's going into battle. And he asks his chariot driver, Krishna, to drive him closer to the folks he's going to be battling so that he can see who it is, get a closer look. So Krishna rides him closer to the battlefield. And when he looks, he sees people he knows. He sees family members, he sees friends, people he grew up with. And he says to Krishna, oh my gosh, I can't fight these people. I can't harm these people. This is terrible. And so the story is all about Krishna giving him advice in this situation. He talks a lot about dharma. And you might have heard of the phrase dharma that we yogi nerds use to mean kind of like your life's purpose. And he says to Krishna, your life's purpose is to be a prince and to go into battle and to protect this community. So you must do this. And so in the end, he does it. But through that entire discussion is woven a lot of our yoga principles. So I invite you to read the Bhagavad Gita. It's kind of a fun read. And in there are 3 paths of enlightenment that are introduced. The first one is called Karma Yoga. You might have heard of this type of yoga. You've probably all heard the word karma. Karma Yoga is the devotion of action of service. So deciding that you're going to be serving others and then taking action to do that. It's a wonderful type of yoga. I'm actually practicing a lot of that this pandemic time to support my yoga colleagues. Jnana Yoga is what we call the path of knowledge. It's more of an intellectual review of yoga texts and learning about yoga and the path of enlightenment through learning the sacred texts and doing research, that sort of thing. And then the third path to enlightenment that Krishna talks to Arjuna about is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is a path of devotion, so often referred to as the yoga of love. The Sanskrit word bhakti comes from the root bhaj, which means to adore or worship God, fondness for, homage, faith, or even love, interpreted in different ways. The root end of the KTI part of the word is Sanskrit for love. KTR means love. And yoga means union or yoking, bringing together. So bringing together devotion of love. That's what it's all about. So the idea is that if you practice on concentrating your mind, your emotions, and your senses on the divine, worshiping of God, God is defined as the universal. It doesn't have to be the Western God that we sometimes think about or we worship in the Catholic Church or even in the Muslim faith. It can just mean the universal, appreciating that we're part of a bigger good, a bigger world. And by focusing on that, it allows you to merge yourself into what we call the reality of divine love. So again, this is often referred to as the yoga of love. It's the means to cultivate unconditional spiritual love. Just as we can stretch our bodies with asana and our breath with pranayama, we can elongate our capacity to feel and expand our ability to love with Bhakti Yoga. So if you begin to love the world around you, appreciate what's around you, sending your love out to the world, the more you do that, the more love you get back. And eventually the idea is that boundary between you and everything in the world that's receiving and giving you love disappears. And it just becomes a world of love. How beautiful, right? Who doesn't want that? So let's open our hearts this morning. Do a nice slow moon salutation to cool us down. And again, I invite you to think about those who might need your love and compassion this morning. So let's start by just closing our eyes for just a moment, or maybe looking down in front of you if that's more comfortable for you. And bring your hands in front of heart center in front of you. Using your thumbs, try to find that breastbone as you're pressing your hands up against your chest. Feeling the pads of your fingers coming together. Feeling the heels of your hands coming together. So whenever we come into this pose, close your eyes, feel what you feel. Feel your hands at your heart, giving yourself love, giving yourself compassion, and feeling your hands, feeling the physicality of it. Take a nice deep breath in, and exhale. Take another nice deep breath in, and exhale. Open your eyes, and let's begin. Come on back to your mat. And find a nice strong mountain pose on your mat to start. So feel your feet grounding into the ground, nice and strong. Shoulders back just a little. Hands nice and strong. In every yoga pose, keep your hands nice and strong and active. And standing up nice and tall. The Patanjali Yoga Sutras teach us that each yoga pose should be steady, but with ease. So find this pose nice and strong, and then relax into it. Your next inhale, we're going to inhale all the way up to the ceiling, slightly bending our back. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. Inhale your hands all the way up to the ceiling with the back bend. Exhale, hands at heart center, and close your eyes. Inhale Inhale all the way up, back bend. As soon as you exhale, hinge at those hips, engage that core, and come on down into forward fold. Fingertips come down to the floor, and release. Gaze should be between your knees. Nice and strong. And as you inhale, come all the way up to the ceiling with a back bend. Then release your hands back to heart center. Inhale all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale back down into forward fold. This time as you inhale, bring your hands to your shins. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Bring your left foot back so your right foot is forward. Left knee down. And as you inhale, raise your hands all the way up. Open your arms to the ceiling. Palms facing up. Gaze to the ceiling or to the heavens. Nice and open heart. And then exhale, come back, hands at heart center. Nice and strong. Feel that breastbone with compassion for yourself. Big breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Bring your knees back. Your knees are together in the hands and knees pose. And from here, inhale and bring your back up to the ceiling in cat pose. Gaze comes down. As you exhale, bring that stomach forward, gaze forward. And use your own breath cadence here to go back and forth between cat and cow. Nice and slow, starting to open up that low back. And when you're back at center, find a nice, strong, equal position on the mat. Your fingers are spread nice and wide on the mat. Shoulders are over your wrists. Hips are over your knees. Slowly start to raise your right hand off the mat, reaching forward. Finding your equanimity on the mat. So balancing front to back, left to right. And when you find that balance, go ahead and take that left leg back. You can keep your toes on the ground if that feels good to you. Another option would be raise that leg up so it's parallel to the ground if that feels good to you. Again, choose whatever bus stop you like this morning to stop at. And if you feel nice and balanced here, bring your right arm, sweep your right arm back so it's pointing behind you, fingers pointing behind you. If you want to bend that left knee, if your foot's off the ground, go ahead and do that. And again, you can stop here and hold nice and steady. Or if you want to reach for that foot, you can do that. You can reach your foot, push that foot in the hand. And whichever foot stop you stopped at, start to look over your right shoulder and open up just a little bit to the right. Your hand has your foot, release. Go ahead and bring everything back down to the mat. Left arm comes up in front, fingers outstretched. And again, you go up on your toes and your right foot. Keep your toes on the ground if that feels good to you. Or if you want to raise that right leg off the ground, nice and strong and straight. Sweeping that left arm around, reaching behind you, opening up that shoulder. If you're going to stay here, just open up that shoulder right here and hold steady. Even if your foot's on the ground, you're going to open up that shoulder. You want to bend that knee and reach for that foot. Go for it. And then opening up that shoulder, twisting nice and open across the body. And breathe. If you're holding your foot, go ahead and release. Everything bring nice and slow with attention back down to the mat. Bring the big toes together, sink those hips back. Sink all the way down. Hands come out forward in front of you, forearms to the mat, forehead to the mat. And release. Inhale, raise your forehead off the mat. Come on up to hands and knees. And then slide those hips forward so you're in Cobra pose, opening up that front chest and opening up that heart. Looking nice in front of you, nice strong gaze. Curling those toes, lift those knees off the mat and push all the way up into downward dog. Nice and strong. Lifting that left foot up. Slowly bending that knee, bringing that left foot in between the hands. Dropping that back right knee, flattening that right back foot. Inhale all the way up and open those hands. Open all the way up. Exhale, hands back at heart center. Finding that breastbone. Close your eyes for just a moment. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Curling that right toe. Bringing that foot forward. Bringing your feet together. Still in forward fold. Engage that core. And then come all the way up to the ceiling. A little bit of a back bend. And then exhale, hands at heart center. Close those eyes. Feel what you feel. Hands of your fingers together. Heels of your hands. Your thumbs pressing into that breastbone. Now we're going to do the other side. Inhale all the way up with a back bend. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale all the way up with a back bend. Exhale into forward fold, coming down, releasing all the way down. Engage that core and inhale all the way up to the ceiling again with a back bend. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale all the way up with a back bend. Exhale, forward fold. This time as you inhale, bring your hands to your shins. As you exhale, hands to the ground, right leg comes back, right knee comes down, right foot goes flat. Your left foot's in front, between your hands, knees above your ankle. Rising all the way up, opening the heart, opening the hands, gazing up. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. Big inhale here. As you exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Bring your front foot back, knees together in hands and knees pose. From here, inhale, bring that back up in a nice cat pose. Exhale, tummy down, and cow. Inhale up with your own breath cadence. A couple of these delicious back bends. And then come back to neutral and pause. Checking your balance here. Are you nice and firm on the mat? Your hands should be nice and spread wide. And when you're ready, and you feel nice and balanced, go ahead and raise that right arm in front of your body. Fingers reaching forward. Fingers spread nice and wide. And when you're equally balanced here, take that left leg, straighten that left leg. You can keep your toes in the ground. That's the first butt step here. Second step, raise that foot. Leg is parallel to the ground. Third, you can bend that knee. Everyone sweep that right arm behind. So your fingertips are pointing behind you. Opening that shoulder up, gazing a little bit up to that right corner of the room. You can grab that foot, go ahead and do that. Push the foot into the hand and open that hip as well. Open, 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 and breathe. You have hold of your foot, go ahead and release. Bring that arm back down, bring your leg back down, so back to hands and knees. Find that balance again on the mat, nice and strong. When you do, raise that left arm up, reaching forward, hands nice and strong. And when you're ready, straighten that right leg. Again, toe can be on the ground, first bus step. Toe can be off the ground, straightening that leg parallel to the ground. You bend that knee if that feels good to you. Everyone sweep your left arm around so your hands are facing back, opening up that left shoulder. And if you can grab that foot, grab your foot. Pushing your foot into your hand, giving you a little bit more opening. And breathe. Your hand is holding out of that foot. Go ahead and relax, let go. Bring your left arm back to the mat. Right knee back to the mat. Big toes together, slide back into child's pose. Arms coming out straight ahead, forehead to the mat. Inhale, raising your forehead off the mat, sliding up into hands and knees, and then sliding those hips forward into cobra, opening those shoulders. Maybe wiggle around a little bit, open that low back. Curl the toes, get those knees off the ground, push all the way up into downward dog. Raising that right foot off the ground. Slowly bending that knee and bringing that right foot in between your hands. Left knee down on the mat. Flatten that left foot. Knees above the ankle on the right foot here. As you inhale, come all the way up, opening that heart. Opening your hands. Opening your gaze. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center, closing your eyes, feeling those thumbs against the breastbone. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Bring your back foot forward to meet the front foot. So you're in forward fold here. Engage that core and inhale all the way up to the ceiling. Let the back bend. And hands at heart center, exhale. Take a couple breaths here. Nice grounding pose. Inhale all the way to the ceiling with the back bend. Exhale into forward fold. Releasing all the way down, looking back. Engage that core. Inhale all the way up with the back bend. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale all the way up with the back bend. Exhale, engaging that core, down and forward fold. Release all the way down. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Leave that right foot forward, bring that left foot back, but this time keep that left knee up off the ground and come up nice and strong in high lunge. Our feet are facing forward. And open those arms, open that heart, and gaze up. Nice challenge, balance here. A little bit harder with your knee off the ground. Focus on that person, those persons that you want to send your love out to this morning. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes. Thumbs against the breastbone. Does challenge your balance to have your eyes closed. So if you need to keep your eyes open here, feel free. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, bring that left hand down to the mat. Right hand all the way to the ceiling. Exhale that hand down to the mat, but keep it on that, both hands on the inside of that right leg. So your left leg is still out behind you, nice and straight. Both hands are on the ground. You might have to scooch that left toe back a little bit. We're going to go into lizard. So you're going to drop your hips a little bit. Walk your hands out a little to the diagonal. And this is the first bus stop. You can stay here. But if you want a little bit more of a hip opening, you can bend your elbows. And do just a little. It's up to you, just for a second. Back, walk your hands back so they're on either side of your right foot there. Hop that back leg to meet your front foot, so you're in forward fold again. Engage that core. Inhale all the way to the ceiling with the back bend. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale all the way. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale all the way. Exhale, forward fold again. Nice and strong. Release, release, release. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Left foot stays forward. Right foot comes back. Keep that right knee off the ground this time. If you need to drop that right knee, that's perfectly fine. This is your practice, so do what feels good for you. And go ahead and rise on up, strong in those legs. Both feet facing forward, nice high lunge. Opening those arms to the sky and looking up. And breathe. Exhale your hands back to heart center, feeling that breastbone. And if you can, try closing your eyes here. It's a challenge to your balance this morning. Nice deep inhale. As you exhale, bring that right hand to the ground. Fingers nice and spread wide on the mat. Left hand up to the ceiling. On your next exhale, bring that hand down, but keep it to the inside of that left foot. So both hands on the side, inside of the left foot. And sink down into lizard again. So again, drop those hips a little bit. If you need to move your toes back a little bit, go for it. Walk your hands a little bit to the diagonal. And if you want, use your elbows. You're in charge here to see how much you can stretch open that hip if that feels good to you. If not, just stay here. If you want to do true lizard pose, you can come up on your fingertips and really look like a lizard here. Feel free to flick your tongue or whatever lizards do. And walk your hands back. We're going to bring our left leg back, so we're back in hands and knees. Big toes together. Sinking those hips back, reaching those arms out in a nice child's pose, forehead to the mat. Inhale, raising your forehead off the mat. Rising back up to hands and knees, and then sink down into a comfortable seated position. However you'd like to sit. Cross-legged or hero's pose, or whatever feels good to you. Closer. And close your eyes. Bring your hands back together, heart center. And breathe. We are all full of divine love. We have so much love to give the world and to ourselves. It's wonderful to come together as a community. I'm grateful for all of you joining this morning and sending your love out to the world as a group. Remember, the devotion of love is easy. Just go outside, Look around you. It's basically living in awe, right? Being in awe of the beauty around us, the people around us, all the love that is shown, even during crazy times like this, the pandemic. There's a lot of really wonderful things happening. And there are people who need our love. So please open your hearts, send them out to everyone who needs it. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Namaste.